were also some really serious policy points. He absolutely threw the State Department and the CIA under the bus. He contradicted the State Department in what they had just testified to about Benghazi, a serious subject, obviously, and sort of blamed the CIA. Let's take a look at this.
We weren't told they wanted more security again. We did not know they wanted more security again. And by the way, at the time, we were told exactly, we said exactly what the intelligence community told us that they knew. That was the assessment. And as the intelligence community changed their view, we made it clear they changed their view.
And Jay Carney today, just to go a little farther, was asked about this conflict.
He was speaking directly for himself and for the president. He meant the White House. In over 4 hours of testimony, the testimony that you just referenced the other day, no one who testified about this matter suggested that requests for additional security were made to the president or the White House. So these are issues appropriately that are handled by security professionals at the State Department, and that's what he was talking about.
David, there is a continuing controversy. Hillary Clinton was asked about it today and said, we knew what we knew at the time, we're still investigating. She basically ducked the question.
Look, Paul Ryan came out, among the more memorable lines is, if there's an act of terror against the United States, we're going to call it what it is. This administration is caught in a lot of different explanations. It's a complicated story, and you've got the intelligence community, the State Department, and the White House. We cover Washington. We understand that there's a lot of competing voices when it comes to that. But the buck stops at the White House with the president on these matters, and this was an act of terror, as he now says, and there are a lot of different explanations. You had heated testimony about the fact that there were additional security requests. Again, this is just messy. And I don't think, look, Martha Raddatz asked a very direct questions. I believe in moderators asking direct questions and getting answers. Was it an intelligence failure? He didn't answer the question. And she did go back at it at a later point. They're just sowing more confusion about this rather than resolving the issue, which is creating more of an issue.
And what's fascinating is that Mitt Romney, by almost everyone's account, when they still did not know where Chris Stevens' body was, or whether he was alive or dead, he comes out with a statement, a written statement, the next day goes on camera. So he had really stubbed his toe on this, but that is now really forgotten. Biden tried to bring it up, but it's forgotten because of the overarching problem with the administration pointing fingers in all directions.
Right.
The testimony on Capitol Hill was that there was real-time video and real-time reporting back to Washington as the assault was taking place. At that moment, they knew there was no protest, that there was an invasion.
Right.
And at the same time, the initial intelligence assessment that went to Susan Rice, who sat down with you on Meet the Press, and that's what everybody's referring to, David, that intelligence assessment is what people say, and what Hillary Clinton again today said Rice was operating off of.
Right, and this is the problem. So, is where did this line of communication get so bad? Why did it take so long? And let's also remember, Jay Carney said it was self-evident that it was terrorism. But he said that, more than a week later. So I just think this is confused. Look, as a policy matter, there's going to be a lot of sort of accountability for this. It's still the question of, well, where does it go? What are we doing right now, both to investigate and track down the killers? And what does it mean more broadly for American policy in the region? I think the next layer of this is an area